Welcome to Momo's Best Cooking and More. Today we're going to learn how to make Amish one-pan ground beef cabbage casserole. And I'm using my big electric skillet because, like I've told you before, I don't like to clean my stove. And if I made this on my stove, we would be scrubbing the stove for an hour after we're finished. So we're going to use my electric skillet. And the first thing we do is wash our hands. We take a pound of ground beef and we brown it. Now, I heard a lady the other day trying to explain about fat content in beef, and she didn't understand it, so let me explain that to you. This is ground beef that's 85% lean and 15% fat. Now, what that means is there's 15% of this ground beef that is fat. Now, you can get it where it's very, very lean, but the leaner the beef, the higher the price. In fact, one that we used to use for a long time that was 9% fat is now $7.99 a pound. And so we have gone to using the one with more fat in it because it's cheaper. And if there's a lot of fat in the skillet, we'll drain it. So we're trying to be healthy in that way. Now that we have the ground beef browned, we're going to add 1 onion and 1 clove of garlic. Now you can cut back on the onion if you would like, but it does give it a good flavor. We're going to cook this until the onions are translucent. They're clear. That means they're done when they're clear. So just keep stirring and the ground beef and letting those onions and garlic cook, and yum, it smells delicious. We're going to add some salt and pepper, and you can just add that to taste. Some people like a lot of salt, some people don't like much, and in the same way with the pepper, so it's just up to you, however you want to add it. And we'll just keep cooking until our onions are translucent. Okay, while that's cooking, I'm going to slice my cabbage. Now, if you've got a large group that's going to be eating this, you might want to use a whole head. But if you just have, 4 to 5 people eating, probably just a half a head will be plenty. So just kind of slice it thin, and we're going to chop it up a little bit as we go along, so it'll cook and be tender. This is really a good, healthy recipe because there's very little fat in it, especially if you use that expensive low-fat ground beef. And then cabbage is very good for you. It's a good vegetable. And we're going to be adding a can of Rotel tomatoes. Now, you can add just canned tomatoes if you would rather. But I like the Rotel because it has a little kick to it. Gives it quite a bit of flavor, so it's something different. But you can use either one. Onions are just about clear. That means translucent. That means that they're just about done. So we're ready to add our cabbage next. So we're just going to take the cabbage that we've chopped. Put your cabbage in there, and then 1 tablespoon of butter. So basically what we're doing here is almost like we're steaming it. And we're going to add an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. We're just going to pour that over. And this is a 10-ounce can of Rotel. Smells wonderful. Get it all mixed up well, blended well. We're going to need to cover it and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. And that will allow your cabbage to get done and tender. And we're gonna let it simmer for about 20 minutes. And we'll come back in just a little while and show you the finished product. Okay, we have finished our Amish 1-pan beef cabbage casserole. Now I made this one with Rotel, mild, and it's still a little spicy. So if you don't like spicy, exchange the Rotel for just a can of tomatoes. But it is very tasty, and it's fairly healthy because it's low fat, and the cabbage is really good for you. So I hope you'll try this. And as you can see, that would feed several people. And all you need to do would be add some green beans with it, maybe a roll, and you've got your whole meal. I hope you'll enjoy it. Now remember, our Bible verse for the fall is, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good." Psalm 118:1. And share that with everybody you know, because we want to keep our Bible verses in our heart. There may come a day when we may need to rely on what we have in our minds and our hearts and of what we read in the Bible. So keep that in your thoughts and share it with your friends and family. And come back to see us. We've got some more great recipes coming.